Hey guys, it's Conf Hollywood Studios here, and today we're going to be talking about a new development out of Six Flags, which you probably have heard about. The fact that Six Flags has gotten a new CEO. That's right, Mike Spanos is out and Selim Bassoul is in. So, first I just want to talk about Mike Spanos and how great of a job I really do think he did at the company. And then I want to talk about what I think about the sudden loss of Mike Spanos and this new CEO, because I have a bad feeling that this could mean something bad is going to happen or something bad did happen. So Mike Spanos first assumed the role of CEO of Six Flags around the end of 2019, so he pretty much got his job right before the world went crazy. And obviously COVID changed a lot about the amusement park industry. And I've said in videos past, I think Six Flags did a really good job throughout COVID. They definitely led the chain of parks in terms of like Cedar Fair, SeaWorld. I thought they did the best job. Their parks, at least most of them, were open, and they had their parks open a lot. I think their policies were fair. Everything was just done very well at the Six Flags parks during COVID. Obviously, I went to Texas during COVID and got to check out Six Flags St. Louis, Frontier City, Six Flags Over Texas, Fiesta Texas, of course my home park of Six Flags Great Adventure, and it was very consistent and great across all those parks. So obviously very good job to Six Flags during COVID. 2021 comes around, and around like April, May, that's when like all the mask policies and other policies relating to COVID kind of started to go, and soon after that, they opened their first major coaster out of the pandemic, which was Jersey Devil at Great Adventure. I obviously got to go to Media Day for that and whatnot, and it was awesome. Still have ridden it over 250 times as of the recording of this video, and it just doesn't get old. They opened a few rides throughout 2021, and they even opened Fiesta Texas's new ride, Daredevil Dive Flying Machines, if I'm not mistaken, early this year, back in like, I want to say spring. But they reopened Mindbender at Six Flags Over Georgia, among a few other rides. And now all of their parks are open. No more, COVID stuff. Like, they're open, ready to go. There's still some vaccination requirements and stuff like that, but they are open. And that's why I kind of find this sudden change in CEO strange. The company seemed to be going pretty well. Obviously, I don't follow the company financially. I'm not a financial expert. I'm a coaster enthusiast, but I'm able to tell, what the revenues are, like how good the company is doing. It seemed like they were on a pretty good track. I mean, their attendance was doing pretty good for this year. Everything seemed good. And that's why this change in CEO kind of has me a little concerned. I just find it really just out of the blue, out of nowhere. And I think a lot of people kind of feel the same way about this CEO change. I'm not trying to bash the new CEO or the new board member at all. I'm sure they'll do a great job, or at least I hope they will. But I just find the sudden loss of Mike Spanos and the company kind of strange, because, quite frankly, I thought he was doing a great job. Obviously, we really haven't seen his new additions to the chain yet. That won't really come till like this year, next year. Like it takes a year or two to see their changes. But, I mean, just starting with all these repaints and the way they handled COVID, I thought Spanos did a great job. And that's why I find just like them getting rid of him really strange. Now, I don't know if he resigned or he was fired. It's kind of unclear, but I do think that there may be stuff going on behind the scenes that we obviously wouldn't know about that led to his removal from the company. It's just, like I said, very strange and kind of out of nowhere that this new guy is here. But let's take a look at Selim Bassoul and Ben Baldanza, who is the new non-executive chairman, and Bassoul is the CEO and president. So Bassoul, he doesn't really have anything too notable about him. He was the former president, CEO, and chairman of Middlebury Corporation, which I don't really know anything about. But Ben Baldanza, who is the other guy, he was a former CEO and president and director of Spirit Airlines. Now, if you don't really follow this airline industry, or you haven't flown on planes, Spirit kind of has like that negative reputation of not being the greatest company to fly with. They're very cost cutting, and that's kind of how he grew their revenue so high. But Spirit really doesn't have that great of a reputation and kind of went downhill in more recent years. So that kind of has me worried for starters. But the other guy really doesn't seem to have anything negative about him. So I'm very interested to see which direction they wind up leading this company in. Like I said, I felt personally that Six Flags, at least from an experience standpoint, was doing really, really well. The attendance figures for last year were released, and somehow Great Adventure was actually below Magic Mountain, which was only open for like 3 months in 2020, which is actually like mind-blowing to me. I always thought that Great Adventure was kind of crowded during 2020, like especially during the summer. So that really just shocked me, unless the attendance figures are wrong. But yeah, that is strange in and of itself. But even more so is just the fact that there's this new CEO. I'm interested to see if they're going to continue this path we thought was starting with Six Flags and B&M. Obviously, Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger at Six Flags Fiesta Texas is scheduled to open next year. I don't think anything next year is going to get canceled or anything like that. But I'm curious if the new CEO is still going to continue to go down that route with working with possibly more expensive manufacturers. I know Dr. Diabolical wasn't that expensive because it's more of a smaller dive coaster, but I'm just curious to see if they're going to continue working with the manufacturers that Six Flags already works with, or if they're going to start branching out to other manufacturers like B&M, maybe even Vekoma or Intamin or other manufacturers. As for the parks, I hope that this new direction they're going in is going to stick. It seems like Mike Spanos is more interested in putting major investments in parks. I just hope that the parks that need it most, like Six Flags St. Louis, Six Flags America, and a few other parks that really don't get that much attention, will get attention. They have a lot of potential to grow, especially Six Flags America, I feel, is in an area that attracts a lot of people, and if they make that park better and better, which they have started doing, I think that could be great. Same for Six Flags St. Louis. I just hope that they take good care of the parks, continue to improve the experience, of course, build new rides, because that's what we all want, but more importantly, keep the company stable and out of bankruptcy. A lot of companies were in hot water, just not doing great last year during the pandemic. So I hope we can avoid that, of course, and I hope we can avoid what Six Flags had to deal with at the end of the 2000s with the whole big bankruptcy and just that whole crazy debacle. But overall, how do I feel about the new CEO and new non-executive chairman? I'm hopeful that they're going to continue doing what Spanos was doing, because from an enthusiast standpoint, what he was doing was really good. And overall, I just hope the parks continue to improve and that the new CEO and non-executive chairman, Selim Bassoul and Ben Baldanza, will continue to keep Six Flags great. If you guys have any opinions on this developing story, be sure to let me know in the comment section. And be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Of course, I'm Colin from Hollywood Studios, and I'll see you guys in the next video.